Well, I have a question, Ms. Hayes, because I'm looking through these checks between your daughter-in-law and the defendant, and she's saying that you should have taken the check, and he's saying you declined it, and that's what your daughter-in-law said. So is that the reason why y'all have issues? Does she believe you should have taken the check?
I never saw a check. My son called me. He said Shanita said that he gave her a $4,000 check, but AK said you need to cash the first check because if both of them get cashed together, one is going to bounce.
Oh, that's a lie.
Why would I refuse my $4,000? I'm not working. I need my money. I would not refuse it. I never saw it.
All right, we've got to go. The parties are excused while we deliberate in this matter. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
I believe the plaintiff when she says, I need money. I want my money. Why would I decline the second check? I was waiting for it. Now, there's some question about taxes. We may want to, deduct that from the $4,000. But I don't understand how the plaintiff doesn't have pictures of the rust and this black paint that she says was used in order to cover this rust up. But I also don't understand how the defendant didn't see it. So I'm not sure if there was some sort of malice or fraudulent intent with that. So I'm open to hearing your thoughts on that issue.
I agree with you. I agree wholeheartedly with you. If he had the check, he should have brought it. He said, I left it at home.
Well, instead, he brought something that I find to be perhaps more compelling, because a check would just show that he wrote a check at some point. He has text messages from the plaintiff's daughter-in-law saying that the plaintiff refused to accept the $4,000 check.
Yes.
Now, normally those might be hearsay, but in this case, the daughter-in-law was acting as the plaintiff's agent, and therefore they are statements attributable to the plaintiff, and they are not hearsay because they're by one of the parties in the case. But even if they were hearsay, I found the defendant's testimony quite credible. And my concern is that it really sets a bad precedent for future litigants and for folks trying to resolve disputes that, if you make a really good faith, and in this case, I think even over-the-top offer to make the plaintiff whole, which I don't believe he necessarily had the obligation to do all that, and somehow the plaintiff wants more or it doesn't work out, if you come to court, you're going to be held to a higher standard because you tried to do the right thing.
I agree with you. I think that would be a dangerous precedent. Yeah. But I don't agree that we are holding him to a higher standard at all.
I wouldn't hold him responsible for the remaining portion. I do think we couldn't fully uncover whether there was fraud, but they already started to unwind this deal. I would give the plaintiff the remaining $4,000 minus the $900 for taxes that the defendant had to pay to the state that is just now money that is going to go out of his pocket if the sale is unwound.
I don't agree. But I do think she's entitled to the $8,000 that she gave him out of pocket
for an as-is sale. As is.
That was the first transaction. This is a second agreement. Give me back the car. I'll give you back the money you gave me. That's an agreement. It's done. He owes her $4,000. That's my point of view.
I think we could split the baby here, and I'm going to go ahead and agree with Judge Juarez. Instead of giving the plaintiff the full $4,000, I'm inclined to deduct the $900 since this deal is being unwound.
Okay. I feel she gets $4,000.
You are our baby splitter. I'll even go a step further. I would have given him back if he had shown some, additional time spent lost. I would have taken more deductions. So I do think this is a baby splitter.
And you're making this more complicated. All right, we have a verdict. Mr. Adisa, let me just first tell you that we recognize that you made a good faith effort to satisfy the plaintiff, Ms. Hayes, here. You were accommodating enough to give her the money back that she had paid for when you didn't have to. Ms. Hayes, when you buy a vehicle as is, you, the buyer, assume the risks when it comes to the quality and the performance of the vehicle. And the seller is no longer liable for any issues and repairs once a car leaves the lot. So for him to do you a solid by giving you the full $8,000 has to be recognized. With that being said, we agree with the second deal that was made, the agreement that was made between the two of you that Ms. Hayes was deserving of the $8,000. You sent her one check for $4,000. You sent her another check. Whether she declined it or not is not the issue. We do believe that you, Ms. Hayes, deserve the second check for $4,000. However, one of my colleagues believes you deserve the $4,000 in full. Myself and Judge Juarez believe that we should be deducting the taxes that Mr. Adisa paid to the state in the amount of $900. So the judgment today is for the plaintiff for $3,100, and that is the verdict.